Good. Much how you are, brother.
Hey, what's the weather over the temperature wise, man?
Um, it's not too bad, like 50 something a day.
And what part of Jersey you in, man?
I'm in Camden.
Oh my goodness, yeah, yeah.
You know, let me see. Well, good afternoon, good day, good evening, good morning. All depends on when you're located. I want to welcome everybody again to another USFL, the Owner's Box, the first and only that I know of PS4 live talk show about the Mad CFM League, the USFL 32 owner league. And I'm here again today. A good friend of mine, good buddy of mine, good player, good user. Tyrific, the owner of the Giants. Myself, Marquise, the owner of the Falcons. This episode 9. We're calling it the Naughty and Nice episode, the Christmas episode.
Drink Champs edition.
right.
Rock boys in the building.
Well, good day. So what's up with you? How you guys are doing over there in Cali, and also how the Giants doing in the league?
You know what? That's a good question. In terms of how we doing out here, it's December 23rd. Ask me why I've done minimal to zero shopping. So my dumb blockhead asses got to go out there and push and fight and shove and scrap and claw all the day and tomorrow to make it happen. So that's always going to be interesting. In terms of the Giants in the league, you know what? We were actually on a pretty good roll there. Ran in a boom. I figured out a way to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Made a lot of mistakes in that game, but I still had myself in a position to win with the last drive of the game. Totally mismanaged the game. Thought I was down by 4 as opposed to 3. So I forced the bad throw I shouldn't have, whereas I should have just kept running Jackson, kicked my field goal, win the OT. But a lot of times when you come in straight from work and hop on the sticks and you ain't even had a chance to dial down yet and you're in that frame of mind, it is what it is. It's on me. I got a good game coming up here against Strong after this. Believe it or not, I still got a shot at the playoffs, even though I'm not thinking about playoffs. I'm just looking forward to playing a good competitor in Strong and seeing what happens. So we'll take it from there. In other news, you know what? I'm about tired of the Davis Webb show. Although today I finally got him an extra point on his short accuracy, so we'll see how that works. But I got a quarterback in the wings, a trade to be made to get back where I need to be with a quality quarterback. So that's about it.
You're not releasing that cow out of the bag. I even asked you who was this trade or who was this going to be. You didn't even tell me. So listen to this.
I have a feeling if I put it out there, somebody try to undercut me.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You know.
Yeah. Hey, let's make sure Ty stays down. Let's go ahead and get
Somebody offer 3 picks or something crazy.
Yeah, and it won't be because they want them. It'll be just because they don't want me to have them. So I'm gonna keep that under wraps.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, since you already spoke on 2 of the things that I wanted to speak on, let's definitely touch back on the Seattle and your game. Prior to that game, you guys spoke late that evening, the day before, and we talked about, and you could speak on it again, the misconception or the conception that people have to attack the middle of the field, and which we might feel like it's open all the time. It's also high risk, high reward, depending on the user that you face. You had a great drive. I mean, you were down 24-9. You came back on a pick 6 and put you right back in the game. You held the Seattle Seahawks to 3 points. And then you had a chance to win the game in that drive, and you attacked directly what we talked about, the middle of the field, right at his user, and he picked it and then took it to the house to win the game. You want to speak on that, the thought process of why you feel like people always have to feel like they have to attack the middle of the field? Is it because it's open? Is it because it's just something that, our mad minds think that based on certain coverages, the middle's always open, or are just people not making the right reads?
It's a combination of all of those. And it's funny, Gates, yesterday, me and you called me, because like you said, we're good buddies, so you called me and we discussed it. I had some time to think about it after our discussion, and you want to know something? I actually don't think it was a bad play. And here's why. Throwing to the middle is always risky. I don't care how good somebody's user is. I'm not saying be foolish, but I feel like you have to have the threat of being able to attack all portions of the field and keep a defense honest, number one. Number two, like I told you, when I threw the ball, my guy was open. Yes, it kind of quote unquote was a bait and switch. But again, if you look at the animation that his linebacker had to get that interception, you won't get that animation but 1 out of 10 times. Now, is it a risky throw? It is. Are there better play calls, entire play calls I could have made? Possibly. I did mismanage the end of that game. And when you go with a good player's user, there's that chance. So at the end of the day, though, it took a hell of a play and a weird ass user animation for him to get that pick. It was an unfortunate way to end the game. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, how often do you get that animation? It wasn't like his user was in the vicinity and I still threw it. Like his dude literally hopped backwards, jumped backwards, made a weird like animation, and he pulled it off. And hats off to him. The read could have been questionable for sure. But at the end of the day, like I told you, all you want in this league is a chance to win at the end of the game. Everybody's going to get maddened. Stuff's going to happen. All you can ask for is to be in a position to win. And either when that happens, you're going to execute and make the most of it, or you're going to throw a pick six like me and take a L. You know?
Yeah, now he was I mean, again, I went back and I watched the game. I didn't watch it live, and I think the play call was decent. I think the play call was good. And we spoke about it. The only reason that you got the result that you got was because of the route that the tight end was on. He was on a slant. It turns into a spot route on that in a mesh play. Had he stayed on a slant, he's open. For sure in the field goal range, different result of the game. Boone didn't attack. Boone jumped into a man to man, and left his guy wide open with the drag underneath. Who was wide open, but in that moment you didn't see that. You just threw straight to the guy that had to step on that middle linebacker. So I agree. I think you need to attack the user. You have to, because the middle field is where those users sit. You can't allow somebody to just sit there and not have nothing to do and nothing to worry about.
That, and then you know what else I look at? When you get to the fourth quarter of the game in the USFL, most people in shot their wide. Hold on 1 second, brother. Most people by that time have shot their wad. They know where you want to go. They know what you're doing. And sometimes it's who can pull something new out the bag. And thinking about it more, if you're going to attack the middle of the field, to me, sometimes here's what's really high risk, high reward. Like, say I was playing you, and I didn't attack the middle of the field all game. You ain't expecting me to attack the middle of the field. So if I'm going to try to catch you off guard, I can't calculate it and let you hunker down. I got to it's got to be a bang, bang thing. But with the bang, bang thing, 50% of the time, you're going to make that play. 50% of the time, the dude's going to be running the other way. There's a little celebration dance. It was real risky, but when you're not having the best season, sometimes you take those chances.
Yeah.
Like if I had more to play for at this point in time, maybe that's a whole different game plan. You know what I'm saying? When you're not playing your best football, I don't know. You still don't want to give nothing away, but I don't know. Sometimes I took that chance.
Yeah. Now, you say that you don't have anything to play for. At what point do you feel as though your team has nothing to play for, even though you're like a half a game or you're actually tied to be in a sixth spot in an NFC race? You still
to be honest, you're right. That's a good question. It's not that I don't have nothing. I said that, but that's not what I mean, because I still actually have a legitimate, not a outside, a legitimate playoff shot. But what I mean by that is it's not having nothing to play for as much as I can't go into this because my shot is very outside. So if I'm looking 3 or 4 games down the line and I'm thinking I got to win out and I'm putting all this pressure on myself, I don't feel that's the best way to go about it. I need to play one game at a time. I started out in that game in a big hole. A lot of things didn't go my way. There was a fumble by Ingram that didn't go my way. There was a bad throw by Davis Webb that didn't go my way when I was in the red zone with a chance to go up by 2 scores early in the game, and it wound up being a 20-yard overthrow. There was 2 touchdowns that was scored on me, and Boone will even tell you where he threw run plays and pitches, and my entire team glitch froze, and I couldn't move nobody, and I stood there and literally watched his dude run by me. Despite all of that, I just stuck to my game plan and kept playing. So when you overcome all of them odds, it's like everything's a bonus at this point, if that makes sense what I'm saying.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I mean, I think that you, because you have all these things against you, you're tired, you're working, you're jumping on the sticks. all those things are affecting you outside of the game. And then when you jump on the sticks, you're kind of bringing that same mentality onto the sticks. Even though, again, like I said, record-wise, you're not out of the race. But mentally, it sounds like you're out. You know what I'm saying? And maybe this, I mean, knowing that the type of games that you've been having, even if you make the playoffs, it's just you make it, but it's, the outcome isn't going to be what you expected to be. Am I right for saying that?
Actually, no, because I don't think mentally I'm out of it at all. Like, I've low key purposely been real quiet the last few owners boxes while I went on a 4-game win streak. And I said, I could legitimately sneak in here. And honestly, even though the road ahead is hard, I still feel it's possible. At the same time, okay, like, let's look at this, right? Like right? You right now, you pretty much probably already in your head feel, I'm in the playoffs no matter what happens. So now you have a certain mindset. I don't want to give games away. I'm still going to play one game at a time, but you're thinking further down the line. Okay, well, I need to win this game so I can secure home field. You're looking at matchups down the line, even though you got games to play now. I don't feel I have that luxury. I'm not looking 3 games down the line and saying I'm going to grab that 6th spot, and once I get in, anything can happen. I'm taking every single thing one game at a time. I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to play my ass off. That's why even though I was in that hole, I didn't fight. Like, if I was mentally out of it, I would have never came back. I would have had that woe is me, here we go again attitude. Nah, I don't feel that way. I don't care who I play. I'm in every game in my mind. I'm never out of any game. Short of it being a crazy, weird, every once in a blue moon blowout where you're down 4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns early, and hey, that's a pipe dream. You ain't coming back. 95% of the time, I'm in every game. So I didn't manage that game correctly is what it came down to. I wasn't aware and cognizant of what was going on. I got ahead of myself, and that's pretty much that. But my mentality, I feel, is good because everything, since I look at everything as a 1-game game, I feel like I'm as good as anybody in the league for 1 game. I don't care what my record is. When I play strong later on today, I feel like I have as good a chance to beat him as he has to beat me. I'm not going into that like, oh man, well, I'm 5-7 and he's 9-3. Nah, I'm tired. He's strong. Like I've locked horns before. I've locked horns with all the best players in the league. I'll give anybody as much as they can handle. So why not me? Why can't I win?
I agree. Now, you spoke on Strong, and I had some words off the camera that about Strong, and I guess I'll bring him on camera now. He is now, like you said, 9-3, and I watched him these last 2 games against the Redskins and also against the Jets. And the game that against the Redskins, they had a desync, and then the other game after that, they reconnected, and then they pretty much played again. He didn't look the same. He actually looked like Strong from last year when the game when desync came back. And then the Jets again, he just didn't make the same play calls, the same things that he had. He had 9-1. So do you feel like I feel like next couple games as he plays the best players and the best players, does he still remain incredible 9-1, or does he better and does he
It's hard, right? I think this is a key time for Strong. I think it's the first time in Madden 18 he's faced adversity. He had a pretty damn good 2 seasons prior to this one, and he's having a good season now. But he hasn't had losing streaks. He's been pretty dominant. Wop is one of the best players in the league. So if I'm Strong, you know what? He's not used to being down in the game. He got down early. Sometimes you got to scrap your game plan. I typically don't, but sometimes people feel like, hey, I got to change it up. The Cletus thing, I don't read a lot into that. That's a divisional opponent. This guy's been playing Cletus as long as we've all been in this league. That's going to go back and forth. I think what's key for Strong is what happens with me and him. Strong beats me this game. I think Strong's like, okay, I've righted the ship, I'm back. And his confidence is good, and he goes into the playoffs, on a good note. I think if Strong loses this game, I think that's what'll be interesting, because now we're talking about a 3-game losing streak. So to me, the verdict is out. I kind of don't know what to call it. I mean, 95% of the people in this league that play WAP are going to lose. Cleveland's a divisional opponent. I don't want to read too much into it. We'll see what happens after this game, where his head's at.
Now, how much do you think? Again, you and I spoke a lot about off camera. How much do you think it is now being in a different position than ever being in before? You know, you go on talking about playing from a guy who was never looked at in the playoffs to now a guy who's now people are saying can actually in the AFC, you know, can possibly go deep in the playoffs and make it to the Super Bowl. Do you think the pressure of that, and then being on these now game of the week, these are the owners' boxes, and you know, guys now really keen and focusing on your game plans and strategies. Do you think he can handle that? You know, has he been handling it, or and even in these next couple of games, because like I say, he plays some of the best guys in his league in this last stretch of the game. How much of that do you think is him going from somebody who was never really looked at to somebody that now has all eyes on him?
That's a good question we've discussed. I think there is something to that. I mean, typically in previous Maddens, Strong has struggled, and he hasn't had a type of pressure. Nobody's been calling his name. Now all of a sudden we have a radio show. He's doing well. He is in games of the week. He is playing top players. I think there's some pressure there. The other thing I think is that Strong doesn't take losing well, and nobody does. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there's people that lose and they're like, yeah, I lost. Cool, I'm good. But if you look at Strong's act in the chat when he loses, it takes a toll on him. So when you have that type of mentality and stuff's not going your way, it's kind of what me and you talked about with Paya. But I think Paya's gotten over that hump. Strong's got to learn to take it one game at a time, and regardless of whether you want to lose, move on to the next game and not carry that with him and take it so hard to the head to where it's mentally affecting him in his game prep and game planning for the next game. That's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, I agree. I think, like you said, the key is how does he bounce back on you, and then going forward. Because if he loses to you, you're talking about now going 9-3 or 9-4. You know, you were at 9-1, leading the AFC in the first spot, and now you're talking about almost a game away or 2 games away of being off the playoffs. You know, that's a lot of pressure to be still harping on losses of as far as the Cletus loss, and knowing that Cletus is still winning, and now you might lose also even the division now. There's a lot of things, and a lot of factors that play out here. It'll be interesting to see if Strong can then win out or just win and keep his thing going to where he's now solidified his spot. Like, yes, I turned my team around. I'm really as good as I say I am. Or is it like, no, I just had a great year, and something that had to be figured out because, you know, looking at this team, he has Brady who's like 55 years old. He has Bobby Wagner who's like 45. You know, you know, he has to win. Anything less than a Super Bowl appearance, anything less than a Super Bowl win is almost a loss for him because he's going to lose Brady next year. He might lose Wagner next year. He has some guys who are still young, but the key players who turn his team around will be gone. So, you know, Strong, if you're listening, man, I would suggest, you know, regaining your focus or whatever hunger you had in these first 9 or 10 games of the season. Let them other 2 losses or 3 losses go. They're gone. You can't get them back. And just continue to play ball. And, you know, everybody's coming. Everybody actually really fighting. They're hungry. I know the Raiders now took the 10-1 or 11-1. You don't see him now losing that spot. He's been the most consistent player in the AFC. The Jags are right on his heels. He's been beating all the NFC teams, which is interesting. You know, he beat the Saints easily. So we see if he can then win in the AFC, and if he makes it to the Super Bowl, he has a strong chance of beating the NFC team because he's been doing it. We'll see how it all plays out. But now that, you know, we got our guest for the show today, I want to bring him in. He's been sitting there patiently waiting, always patiently watching, patiently working. He is what we like to call Boone Senior, you know, his little brother. You know what I'm saying? We have Boone, the Seattle Seahawks owner today as a special guest. Welcome, good brother. How you doing?
He's in the building. What's going on, y'all? What's going on, fellas?
Man.
Nothing, man. You tell me, man. You know, you went from Super Bowl winner last season, beating me in the playoffs. I think championship to winning that. Congratulations on that. And then to this year, kind of in the spot. Especially with the Bobby Wagner, pressure on your losing Earl Thomas, and now 4-1 or 7-4-1. I would like you to comments that you've heard. You
You say that again, you was breaking up.
Yeah, I was saying.
Your connection's off.
Oh, my connection.
Well, it's weird. Like when you talk, it's like gargled and mumbled.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But basically, I don't know if your connection is good. What he was basically saying, Boone, was last year he was a Super Bowl winner and a powerhouse in the NFC. And with the loss of Wagner this season and some changes to the secondary, he was stating that he's made some comments that you haven't been the same player, you struggled. And he asked if you wanted to rebuttal or address those comments in terms of how your seasons went so far, what the differences are.
Yeah, it's definitely a struggle. I knew that. Going in. Old players that I if you notice what I've been doing in the league, I don't keep anybody too old if I don't have to. Now, the Earl Thomas, I did try to sign him, but different what he wanted. He wanted Bobby Wagner. I had no signing him, so I got what I get. So I knew I had a young defense. I'm now getting the feel for my young linebackers. I can know what they do. Gates always say that it was Wagner. It was Wagner, his stats. He was fast, but like I would rebuttal that. Gates still wants to take over. It's your awareness that takes over. So, but I did have to adjust with his speed because I couldn't around with newer guys that I could help.
You know what I'll say on that? It's funny. I of anybody can relate to you. Every year I play with the Giants, and I drop Eli Manning in about that second or third season because he's a hell of a lot of money on my cap, and he's old and he starts to regress. And normally I do okay, but this season I didn't have any idea the impact it would have on me. In addition to not kind of having my game together in the beginning part of the season, Davis Webb, his stats look good, and that's what's throwing me off. But when it comes to actually executing throws, it's made a difference. And even though my schemes are the exact same as when Manning was there, I do understand that transition. And when you have somebody that can't do what you used to doing, you still have the mentality of, I'm going to make this play.
Exactly.
But all of a sudden, your guy ain't there, or he's a step slow, or the ball's overthrown or underthrown, and you look foolish. And it's like, well, damn, I've made that play a million times. But I get it. Like, we all have to go through that transition. I mean, I'm looking at Gates, and I know he's not going to hold on to Jones too much longer. And I see Jones start to slow down, and it kind of happens. When the day and time comes, he has to plug and play and put Joe Smith in Jones' spot, and you used to make it a certain throw to Jones because he cuts a certain way and he does it. It causes havoc.
Right. I definitely underrated Earl Thomas. And I say that because there's actually benefit for that. Him having that range in the defense is just, it's safe. Like, you feel safe with any coverage you throw out there. You know that he gonna have either that third, that half, wherever he's at. He got that cover. He's gonna make up that ground. So, looking back on that, but my backup Tedrick Thompson, he got 6 interceptions, so he's coming along. So it's just one of those things. Like, that's the luxury of being able to win early. That way, I can break it down and do what I need to do.
Yeah, I give you your props, man. You definitely stick to your game plan. Everybody knows you're run first. Pass when necessary.
In the box every day now.
Say that again.
I see 8 in the box every day now, ever since week 1.
Yeah, well, here at the Owners Box, we try to dissect teams and give keys to victories. And, anybody who knows you and your brother, 8 in the box, you got to put 8 in the box. You're the guy who wins on 3rd and 30. You hit somebody with that counter out of the ace pair or you know what I mean? That's your play. That's your thing. So,
that's what I do. I don't deviate from it. Like, everybody know I like to run the ball, but don't get it twisted. I can throw the ball, but running, like I was telling you, like, running is just like a Hail Mary to me. Like, if I know if everything fall the way it is, that's just as good of a home run threat as, a pass is. So, and it's safer as long as, Matt don't hit you with a timely fumble. But that's just, like you said, you stick to your game plan, stick to your guns, whether I'm down 21 or 28, I'm still gonna run the ball. You know what I mean? That's just football. You know what I mean? It's controlling the clock. It's controlling the possessions. You know, if I can keep you off the possession, that's less time my defense is on there. That's less times that I have an opportunity to make a mistake on defense if I can control the ball on offense. I mean, that's just simple football 101 right there.
Yeah, and I think that you take that mentality, that football 101 mentality to Madden. I'm a firm believer, especially in the NFL, that two things you need to win the NFL Super Bowl is a running back and a defense. You know, even though we're in a pass-happy league, even on the game myself, I'm pass-happy, but I still do have two good running backs. Ty has a great running back. You have a great running back. And I mean, and you use them, you utilize them well. I'll definitely give you props to that. You want to talk about how your game has changed over this last Madden compared to this Madden? You know, last Madden, you're trying to figure some things out. I mean, you spoke on it, and now it's like I don't even want to give you tips.
Well, let's go back. When I first started, I joined the league at the end of Madden 16, I believe. And I jumped in with the 49ers. That team was terrible.
That's right.
Terrible. But I remember picking that team because, one, they had the most cap space, and they had a slick running back. I still remember his name. Pierre Gardner was the running back. So, yeah, see. So I was just, I was running. I was just running the ball, pounding the rock, you know what I mean? I was able to start to build my team. It took me about 2 or 3 seasons to get in the playoffs. I finally made the playoffs. And then start of 17, I had the Ravens. Again, just building up the team. I was competitive, but I was losing some close games. I was losing some close games on the defensive end. It wasn't offensively. So, you know, I reached out to Gates and was like, you know, I noticed, you know, some things he was doing. And one thing that always gravitated me to him is, like I said, I've always been a competitive player. Every time I played Gates, even in 16, he had the Bucks. I don't know if you remember that.
I sure do.
Every time I lost him, he blew me out. And I don't get blown out. I'm like, man, what is this guy doing that I can't score? Like, and I ain't never been able not to score on anybody. So he gave me some tips and, you know, put some things in perspective, because a lot of things that I noticed on the game, but like I said, I didn't really look all the way into the nuances of how to do some things, because like I said, we all adults, we all work busy schedules, just not really taking the full time to take advantage of some of them things. But he pointed some things out and it clicked for me, and I was like, now I've just been rolling from there.
Yeah, you definitely been doing that. Again, like I said, you beat me in the NFC Championship. Now it's like a 50-50 thing now when we play. I know that you're going to stick to your game plan. I'm going to stick to my game plan. It really comes down to turnovers. Your brother has been doing his thing this season, you know, jumping in late in the season and using the Jags. I know you both
Shout out, brother.
Yeah.
You're doing this. I cut you out, bro. You doing your thing. I don't say much, but I see you, little bro. I see you.
Yeah,
but let's say, because when he was on, y'all asked him a question about.
I was going to ask you the same thing. You must have read my mind. You knew what I was going to say.
Let's set the record straight. So, if we played 10 times, he said he will humbly say we split 5. I'll say that I get him 7 out of 10 times. But let's put it like this, though. If we had a 7-game series, I got game 7. And that's all that matters. He ain't getting me on game 7. He'll get me on the short. He might get me best out of 3. He might even get me best out of 5. But if we go 7, he ain't getting me 7. I got game 7 on me. So, you know, he take it as a slight, me and Carl Boone Jr., but he, you know, I showed him some things. He was always a college football guy. I showed some things on Madden. And just showed him some things that work. You know what I mean? He shouldn't take it as a slight. You know, I feel like I've earned that respect in this league over the years, being a stand-up owner and a good player. So, you know, that's not a slight at all, little bro.
Yeah, no, he's definitely done some things. You know, I remember when he was the Bears, and he couldn't win a game, and then we had him kind of had the same conversation you had. He switched it around. I know he talked to you about the offensively side of the ball. I see his game. I see your game and his game, but also some things that are different. It was good to see the guys that, like, you know, take the advice, and turn their teams around, and then make a huge impact in this league. I want to ask you where there's a couple games you lost that I picked you to win. What broke down or what changed for you? Because I know some games that do you treat every opponent the same, or do you base your opponent based on the level of competition? How you look at your opponents?
I try to treat everybody the same. Of course, we all human nature. You see a record and you kind of play down to that record a little bit. But going in, I give everybody. I mean, it's any given Sunday. You know what I mean? Any given Sunday, and then you throw the factor of how probably like to say I got mad. And, I mean, you throw those factors in, it can all go in. If you look at my losses, the one loss I took with the Ravens, I couldn't play that game. I was on auto, so he played the computer. Don't know how that game's going, because I'm looking at him. He's 7-4, so he looks like he's throwing up some good competition. Saints game was just one of those games. Rawls got hurt in that game, came back, but when he came back, he was running slow as I don't know what. So I couldn't really quite adjust to that, and that was a 12-7 game until I threw a pick late, and he, tacked on a touchdown at the end. The one game, let's see, Paya, we tied. I look back on that game, I don't do nothing different. If you take away that block kick, I win that game. So, and that was the first game I played without Wagner. So we traded blows on that game. Gates, champ, you you did what you said you was gonna do. You said you was gonna try that young secondary. They held that on. I got a few picks, but at the end of the end, between us, we traded punches, but it was just a lot of short fields, and you just give up points in that area. The one game I look back on is the 49ers game. Shout out to the new owner. He plays aggressive. He plays sound. And he just got me on some deep throws, and I wasn't able to adjust quick enough. And they gave him the catches, and he was able to keep drives together. But other than that, I'm about where I expected to be, because I know I was going to struggle with the defense. So it's just getting to the playoffs, and then we'll see what happens there.
Yeah. Now, how do you feel about the Niners owner? That's actually Redskins' little brother. Bob's brother is the is the 49ers, and he does play aggressive. He's almost their relationship and how they play Madden is almost like your brother plays Madden. They kind of mirror each other, just with a twist of different things.
Yeah, it's I can definitely see the similarities. Like I said, it was the deep shots. He was getting me on the deep shots, and it was funny. Like I can see getting housed by Jones. I can see getting housed by Beckham. Man, Quincy and Nunwa was jumping over my quarterbacks. And I'm like, man, what is going on? I think he had Pryor on the other side was housing my guys. So the first game we played, it was a 10. I got him by 10. He came back and got me by 13. So I'm looking forward to that matchup going in the future. It's gonna be a chess game, and believe it or not, if they do play similar, then that gets me prepared for what.
Yeah. I want to give out a quick tip on that jump ball thing, man. If guys don't know, if you feel like your cornerback isn't that talented or in that position, but he's in a position to make a play on the ball, just hold square, and that usually combats that aggressive catch, animation, and things like that. So go on the lab, have the computer throw up some Hail Marys, and work on whole square, and click on the guy whole square. It should make a difference. And that's all I'm giving out right there. Ty, you got anything for the Seahawks on it?
No, just it's funny. I don't play Boone often, but we played our fair share of games. It's funny because him and his brother, it seems every time I play one of them, there's a lot on the line. It's a playoff game. It's a championship game. It's a Super Bowl game. And it's funny because it just always seems to go that way. We might only play once a season or once every 2 seasons, but every time it happens, it's a playoff game, championship game, a Super Bowl game. And they always are close, and they always come down to it. This game that we just played, it was a crazy game overall because the way it started out looked like it was going to be a long day, and it came down to me having the ball in my hands in the last drive and a chance to win. So it's just always fun playing Boone and his brother, because I played his brother a lot too in them same circumstances. So I just enjoy that competition with those two.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna play. His brother's gonna come and play. I mean, I admit I wasn't ready for his Denver Jags level of I wasn't ready for the run. You know, I wasn't ready for the play call. I wasn't ready for none of that. I just jumped on, unfocused, unprepared. And I knew it because I told him, like, I know you're going to try to avenge your brother's game or whatever. You know, I know you're going to stop calling you Boom Jimmy. And he just laughed. He just laughed or whatever. So, again, shout out to him. He's definitely doing his thing. Boom, how do you rate the NFC top teams? How you see this season playing out for the NFC?
Top teams, okay. So put WAP up there because you know he's doing his thing. He just took out the Patriots. I think he just paid the Patriots. So he's up there, number one. Case I put you number two. You're right on his heels. You know, I know how you play. Both of you guys got aggressive play style, so you're gonna have to, you know, buck up your chin strap and get ready to play on defense. Three, I put Pyatt. He's doing his thing. He finally got a player where he likes to play his style of ball, and I'm actually been quite impressed with Pyatt in this sense. Going back to our playoff game when he beat me, threw me off, and in this sense like this because in previous matchups, and if you all play Pyatt long enough, he gonna give you one. He gonna give you one, and when he give you one, he gonna give you another, and it just kind of snowball. He's been playing within himself lately. You know, he's been very calculated in the way he played on offense and defense. He was already sound, so he's been playing real safe, careful. You know, not taking too many calculated risks. And now he got his fast receiver that he likes to, you know, chuck down the field with. So put him three. I put myself four. I'm in the 4 seed, so you know I put myself four. I got struggles on defense, but offensively, you know, I see that I'm in top 5 in offense, so you know I'm gonna be able to run the ball, I'm gonna be able to do my thing. Rounding out the top 5, got it the Saints. Saints, see, they just had a tough. I saw they just had a tough loss, a tough divisional loss, but and then he lost to my brother. My brother put it on him. That was kind of buzzsaw because he had just lost 19-0, so he been waiting to get back on the stick since then. So, but I played him. He played sound. He played within himself. He don't do anything too crazy. So I say that rounds out the top 5. One thing I can't say, man, I'm giving y'all props, man. I like the show. I like what y'all doing. One thing I like is be able to put faces to the names now. So I can only imagine the face Ty made when he threw that pick 6 at the end. Like I could just picture like, like because he did what he said that he wouldn't do in other episodes. Like, you know, he was doing a hurry up offense. He had just got the first down, so I was kind of surprised he kept going. Thought he might get out another formation, and then you did. I think it was like dual crossers, and I followed the one drag guy. And then I peeled off him. I remember you said like you say like I know the guy's gonna pull off on him, but I throw it anyway. And when he threw it, I was like, oh, he threw it. But it was a good game. Turnovers early, like you said, it got out of hand early. And then you know I threw a turnover in the 3rd quarter where I could have been tacking on points after I told myself be smart. And I saw something that I knew I shouldn't have threw the ball, and I threw it anyway. It ended up being a pick 6 for him and got him back in the game. So,
well, it's funny. Me and Gates talked about this a lot yesterday because he called me, and then we talked about it on the show earlier. The thing about that play, at first, it looks like a bad play, and you typically don't want to throw in the middle against somebody with a savvy user. But like I was telling Gates, the way that route runs, it's a really funky, unique route. And looking at the animation that your guy got to get that pick, that's not a normal animation. So it sounds, when you just hear it in the vacuum, it's like, why would you make that throw? When you look at the animation, if I make that throw 10 times, you get that animation that one time you got it. It wasn't like your guy was standing there. That's one. Secondly, what really upset me after the fact, and my boy at work, because I work with Texans and with Franco, Texans told me, "Hey Ty, you know you was down 3." And I said, you know what? Remember I missed that extra point? I don't know why, even though I went for 2, I still thought I was down 4, so I thought I needed the TD. Because if my head was in the game the way it needed to be, I wouldn't have thrown the ball. I'd have just kept running Jackson. I was already in the red zone. I'd have took my field goal and we'd have went to OT. So when that element got introduced to me after the fact, that's when my disappointment came in, because I pressed myself to do something I didn't have to do.
Yeah.
I see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I watched it and I'm like, he's not open. He's not open. He's not open. Oh, he threw it. As soon as he threw it, I was like,
and I watched that play over and over again, and it was like I watched them all to the point where I was like, man, if he would have just waited just a half a second, that drag route in the flat was wide open.
Wide open. Yeah, wide open.
Well, me and Gates was talking about that, but here's the problem, right? And this is what I was telling Gates. You don't want to test the middle against the better players in the league. So if you do, you better damn well be committed. I'm not going to sit there and let you set up shop and open up camp and then be like, let me throw the ball now. Nah, man, you got to surprise you, because you know what you ain't looking for, or what Gates, y'all are not looking for somebody to go in the middle. You say you are, but think about it. We in the 4th quarter. All game I ain't went in the middle. So you're thinking, hey, he's going to hit the sides, he's going to hit the flats, he's going to run the ball. The last thing you're thinking is look going right where you at. So if I'm going to do that, I got to do it quickly. It's a 50-50 proposition. It is high risk, high reward. Because again, because of that animation, 9 times out of 10, you don't get that animation. And I get the ball, and that's a 15-yard pickup. And I'm trucking along. You got to take the good with the bad, man. You know, it is what it is. At first, I thought it was worse than it was, but after I thought about it, we looked at it. I'm like, you know what? It wasn't a bad play. It just didn't go my way, and I can deal with that. It wasn't a bad play, actually.
Yeah, I agree. It wasn't. Yeah, it was just that read in that moment. You know what I'm saying? And knowing that you were saying that you didn't know that you were down by 3, you needed that touchdown.
That's the part that pissed me off. I should have. Because I sure would have just ran Jackson 2 more times. I don't care if he got 1 yard. I'd have ran him 2 more times and kicked my field goal.
Yeah, I think that's a valuable lesson to be learned for anybody who's watching. Just the clock management, how important it is in them last minutes, especially when you're on that last drive to win the game. I just shout out to the Panthers. He was in a slump. He actually stole. He was the Grinch. He was the Grinch for Christmas in New Orleans. He stole that win earlier today. Because he was up and then he threw a screenplay, and I'm looking at it and it's like, yo, he's not open. Don't throw the screenplay. And he throws it anyway and sink it and scored. And they're up by 24, 21, 20, 21, 17. And he comes right down and keeps running his game plan. He hits him with the C routes a couple times. He hits him with the corner routes. And the Saints never adjusted to that. He never played zone. He thought that he needed a crucial play and he could just run man, and the Panthers have been killing man all day. So it was definitely a good thing to watch, and see him keep his composure. Even when he got down in the goal line, he just ran the ball and ran it right in the end zone, game over. So, Boone, who is your next opponent coming up this week? And who do you think the victory are for you this week? I say, who are your keys? What are your keys to victory this week? Oh, you have the card.
I got first key, if I can get first key. He's been pretty good, though. I got to protect that deep ball. You know, he got that quarterback. He got them tall receivers, and you know he chucking it downfield. So that'll be another test of guarding the deep ball with Champ, with him and that quarterback. He don't run the ball too much, but that's pretty much the keys to victory. I stick to what I do, run the ball, play good sound defense, and you know, not turn the ball over. Then you know, if I do those things, I feel like my chances of win is very high. You know, with anybody I play.
Yeah, and then Champ, if you're watching again, you know it's the same formula with Boone, 8 in the box.
Hey man, it's been crazy. Like I was like, man, they paying attention because every time it's
Yeah, stay
eight
in
in
the
the
box
box,
and
and then even Ty started to do because we was trading punches in the round game earlier. I think Jackson gashed me his first two runs was like 70 yards. I'm like, okay, it's gonna be a long day. But I started to bottle him up, and then I was hitting him with pro sites. But then what he started doing the second half was he was dropped even if he wasn't in like a 4-6 or that 4-4, he was still dropping that safety now, and it was just like it was with the blocking and everything like that, he was just putting him there, and I think from that point like I didn't run too much good after that, so
yeah,
I've
Yeah,
been doing that. Yeah, eight in the box.
yeah, and I'm typically not a in the box guy because I can continue to run with the way I space out my line and scheme it. Um, but I know in the beginning, like you said, you was consistently able to get 6, 7 yards, and I'm like, okay, well, that's not killing me, but I can't get stops that way either. I gotta slow this bad boy down. My boys up front ain't getting it done. So yeah, come on down, number 21, Landon Collins. Bring that damn hit stick with you too.
Yeah,
yeah, and that's why I always say like, I think that's the key to victory against playing one. You have to keep the box crowded, only because you can be down. It can be 3rd and 15, and he's gonna run. It can be 3rd and 26, he's gonna run, and you're not expecting that. It's like it's a crucial first down. He needs to get this first down. And you see him in a shotgun, and he hits you with like a halfback base or a inside zone. And you're like, it's just so frustrating. I'm like, what? Like, who runs in that? Who runs that in that moment? But that's what works. You know what I'm saying? That's what works. So
think my mentality with that, like 3rd and 15, what are you doing? You dropping everybody back, playing for the interception, trying to keep the first down. A lot of times, like I was telling my bro, like a lot of times, like a lot of my drives, even if I'm in field goal range, I can see the fact just to get the points. Like I'm not about to make no crazy throw if I don't have to. If I'm 3rd and 15, I'm right there on the edge of field goal range. If you're gonna give me 8 yards, 7, 8 yards, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna keep the field goal and we'll go back to the drawing board. I mean, that's just that's like I said,
Now
that's smart.
think about that mentality. And this is the last time I'm gonna speak on it. He's running on 3rd and 15 because you're not expecting it. I'm gonna throw to the middle of the field on you from time to time, no matter who you are, because you ain't gonna expect it. Oh, he's gonna hit the flats. Oh, he's gonna hit a drag. He's gonna hit a crosser. He ain't gonna throw where I'm at, especially if I snap throw it. That's that same mentality.
yeah, but I think your mentality has to change. Like you said, by the fourth quarter, it has to change. So like when we played earlier this year, I knew that. I knew it didn't matter what down it was. Expect to run first and then adjust accordingly. If you pass it, then you pass it. You know what I'm saying? But for me, it's I have to shut down the run. And that's what I did. I mean, you had 4 running backs. None of them had over 50 yards. I think you had like a total of 60 yards rushing between 4 guys. It was just a whole different game for, when you and I played. So, if Champ was watching, whoever's watching, keys to victory Seahawks, is 8 in the box and run. Because he's going to do it. I mean, he's going to stick to his game plan. Boom, my keys to victory for you is do what you've been doing. His record is what he said he is, and treat him as such. But give him the respect as if he wasn't me, if he wasn't Ty, if he was your brother. But then you just play your game. Those are the keys to victory on both perspectives of the ball. Can you talk to me about the AFC side of the ball and how you feel as that's shaping out, and and then from there go into the type of mindset it takes to go to the Super Bowl here in this league and winning one.
AFC first, let's put the Raiders. They playing sound defense. You lit a fire under him after week 1. So he just been on a tear ever since. He's been on the tear ever since. And he's always played sound defense. It sounds like, he's doing this thing offensively too. I throw my brother in 2. I think he's 9-3, something like that. Especially after the Patriots have taken a couple of losses. So I put him too. He's a strong player. He's gonna run the ball. He's gonna mix it up. He's gonna pass the ball. He plays sound defense. He's benefiting from Earl Thomas back there. He has, if you look at his team, his defensively is young, aggressive, and fast. I think he probably. I looked at his defensive backfield like Ramsey's a 90 plus. Bouye 90 plus. Then he got Earl Thomas back there at 90 plus. So he's benefiting from some good defensive back play. And then he got, Campbell on the front end, got Miles Jack, So he got a young, fierce team.
Still got Telvin.
And if you get behind, you play right into what he like to do. You like the ball hawk, and you gotta chuck it up, and you playing right into his hands though. So three is a toss up between the Patriots and the Jets. I know they just split. I'm curious to see how the Patriots bounce back and play two top owners back to back. I think you said something about. I think I caught the tail end of. I guess it was a disconnect between him and the Redskins, so I guess that kind of swapped momentum a little bit. But I know he's still got a couple more tough games. I think his last 5 games are playoff contenders, so he's pretty much in playoff mode right now. But I'll put the Jets 3 because I know what Cleveland can do. I know what he's gonna bring. He's gonna stick to his game plan. So I'll put him 3, Pats 4. Rounding out the top 5. I'm just trying to see. I'm gonna pop out here because I'm gonna put the 5th spot. I'm gonna do a 3-way tie with the 5th spot. I'm gonna say Chiefs. I'm gonna say the Browns. And I'm looking at the Ravens. I think they all kind of in the same boat of, making some noise in the AFC on the back end. I know the Chiefs. I know what the Chiefs are made of. They make the playoffs. They go deep in the playoffs. I played him in the Super Bowl. It kind of fell apart on him in the Super Bowl, but I know that's not the type of player he is normally. So that's what I would say with the top 5. As far as the mentality of the Super Bowl, it's play by play, game by game. Like I said, once you come into the playoffs, you can't take nobody lightly because they're in the playoffs for a reason. You know what I mean? So anything can happen. I went 14-2 last year, and then I got upended by Paya in that game where it switched off. I played. I think I had a chance to make that a 21 or a 20-7 game or something like that. I got 2 lax in the red zone, messed around, missed the field goal, and then next thing you know, it kind of just snowballed from there. So you just got to take it play by play, down by down, that type of thing, and just grind out, keep your mistakes to a minimum, and you can take it a little bit further.
Yeah, I agree. It just takes. Yeah, I mean every possession counts. Especially when this point of the year it feels like that. Not in the playoffs, it still has that playoff feel around it, especially with the records being so close. Some of the top guys in the AFC is like that. I mean, a lot of you guys are a game away, or half a game away, or 2 games away. Like in these last 3 or 4 games, the way that these wins can like pan out, man, is so crucial. So I would say definitely protect the ball. Treat every possession almost as if it's a 4th down. That last drive of the game and things like that. I've seen some things, man, and I want both you guys input on. Every Madden, there's always a route or route combinations that some people feel overpowered, some people feel overused. I've been seeing 2 routes specifically this year: the out route and the C route. What are your feelings on these 2 routes? Overpowered, overused? How hard are they to stop? Which ones are annoying, things of that nature.
Actually, the one route I throw in that I think is drastically overused, and it's one of your staples. It's that post in the middle of the field that it hits you right kind of in between the linebackers and the damn safeties. When I play strong, I'm going to see a bunch of that post to Cooks. It's a weird post that kind of, you do it with Jones all the time.
Yeah.
I think that one is just as used. It's right there with those 2.
Yeah, but you only said 2 people that use it, though. Versus,
I said a lot of people use that post. I'm not going to name all the people, but how do I feel about it? I don't know. The C route to me isn't really hard to stop, and I haven't had a lot of people throw it on me. I mean, you do got to work with coverages a certain way to stop it. As a matter of fact, I want to say Boone hit me with that damn C route a few times in our game. I know you was killing me too, Gates. You and Watt put that damn out route, and then it's murder when you got them speed guys, because if you try to move up too much to take away that out, you got to worry about somebody going over the top. My mentality on that is if you want to out route me all the way down the field, have at it, man. I'm not looking to give up a 7-yard play. I'll give up the 10-yard play because that gives me a few more series on defense to possibly do something, slow you down, as opposed to the big play. So yeah, I don't know. The C routes used heavily in every Madden. And the out route's been kind of hot for the last 2 or 3 bets, so it's not really a big deal to me. It's more of a pain in the ass. You know what I look at that damn out route as? The same as a drag. You know it's coming. It's a pain in the ass. It ain't gonna kill you. You'll live to fight another day. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, I think both of those routes. I used the out route. I think I did use the C route a couple of times. That's when I hit you. Like I wasn't in that game for some reason. I was not getting the sideline animation, so
yeah,
I wasn't able to keep drives going. Excuse me. There's always things being abused. I always take it on, stop it. Figure out a way to stop it. You know what I mean? I know the 49ers, when I played him, he was getting me with the C routes. He was getting me with corner routes, and I was trying to make adjustments to it. But what I was finding out was, even with my adjustments, because he was still running underneath routes, even if I put my guy in the cloud flat, he was still biting down on that flat and not leaving that open. So after that, I went to the lab and I kind of came up with a little solution. I kind of put a little bit in play with Todd to see how it worked with some different adjustments to try to so I can combat when somebody try to do that to me, that I can have that covered on all areas. But as far as that, like I really don't pay too much about it being spammed or anything like that. Like I just put myself, like I just need to figure out how to stop it. If I stop it, then they'll stop you from running it. So
yeah, I use out routes, man. I love it. For me, it just the reason why I use it, it forces you to dictate your defense. You might come out to cover 4 and I hit you with these out routes. It forces you to bite up and play a cover 2, which then allows me to use the post like Ty talks about. It beats over the top between the safety and things like that. I don't really use the C route. I mean, but it is annoying as hell for me. Especially when it's like from the slot position, because the purple routes are still kind of broken. Purple routes are still not what I think they should be, and even the quarter halves and like the cover 4 aren't really what I think they should be too. So for me, I think and when I agree. I think if a person is doing these things, whether they use them 100 times or not, it's up to you to figure out to stop it, go in the lab and do that. That C route, man, I see it used a lot this year in the league, and man, to me, it's just annoying as shit. It's just so annoying. I'm asking you guys, are you guys gonna give out tips on how to stop these routes, or you let guys figure it out on themselves?
I've been pretty open about stuff because, like I always told you, me and you had a good conversation, Gates, with like, are we giving too much info? My thing is, everybody knew Jordan was getting the ball in the fourth quarter. It's one thing to know it, it's another thing to stop it. So, like you said, I think with the C routes, it depends on a few things. It depends on where the route is coming from. Some people motion their dude in. Is it coming from the slot? It depends on what route combinations they're running underneath it. Typically, when you see that C route, it's coming from quarter strike play, period. So there's a bunch of different challenges you got to look at there. You got shading coverage techniques. You got the Mabel technique. I mean, there's a few different ways you can go with it. Just depends.
Boone, you giving out tips on how to stop these routes, or you gonna let people figure it out?
like I said, there's shading coverage. pay attention to how running it. A lot of times, what I saw coverage, and therefore making if you don't have over there help with the that's hard for you. So next like that therefore stay true to his assignment and not come up. So like you said, that man is a good way to do it, but you got to know how to there's holes in that. So you can run maybe all game if you want to, but our players start to notice that and not even play to that strong side that you're keeping that C route on, and I hit you on the weak side. So you know, catch 22, you pretty much dang if you do, dang if you don't type of thing. So, but it just really just contain it. Don't let it beat you.
That I'll throw one more tidbit in there. Your certain cover twos work real well with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even necessarily going to say sink, but your cover twos that aren't hard flats, that have 12 squats and things of them in that nature, if you tweak the coverages right on those, your guys drop back into those areas where those C routes go. And if you got good corners with good awareness and good zone, you'd be surprised how many times they'll jump them C routes.
Yeah.
So without giving the whole thing up, I'll just drop that in there.
Yeah, I was, it's funny. I was gonna say that, and I thought about like, do I give that tip out?
That's why I said I ain't gonna tweak the whole thing, but I'm telling you right now, as long as you rock some of them cover twos without a hard flat, and you got good corners back there, your Eli Apple types, Charles Powers, they'll drop back and take some of those away.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I think that's a good start. The Mabel or the Marvel concept really works well. Even if it doesn't stop it, it just takes that initial read over to that right side out of the field. The person does to the left side of the field, and forces you to attack the weak side. The catch 22, like Boone said, is I know guys like myself, him, Wop, Cletus. I know we force you to throw to the weak side, because the weak side is where we're at, and it's like you're kind of playing into our hands. So definitely go into the lab, try to figure out how to stop the out routes, the C routes. That post route, I'm not giving out the keys, the secrets on that, how to stop it, how to do it. You guys got to figure that out. That's
I'm gonna stop and watch my game here in a few minutes. I got something. I got something coming.
Yeah, well then there you go. I find that interesting. So, Boone, can we get your picks, man, for this week? This week's Owners Box picks, man. Let me read out these games to you real quick. Let me Ty, you chime in too. San Fran and Minnesota, both of the owners, both have good user skills. They both got into the league late, but still working with their teams. I mean, they've been winning games, even with their teams have been given to them. So, how do you feel about those? Who are your guys' winners on that?
I've seen the Minnesota Creasy in the past. I know in the past, like I say, he's still trying to get it together. I've seen the 49ers firsthand. I get a nod to the 49ers on that game. If he stick to how I've seen him play in the past couple of games he played, if he stick to that formula, he should be fine.
All right, we got.
You know what? I haven't watched Niners play yet, so I'm kind of just going off my trust for Boone, because I know Boone does know Creasy, and I know he's played the Niners a few times. So since I haven't seen him play, the inclination is to go with Creasy, but I'll rock with Boone and say Niners since he's actually seen both.
Okay, I'm gonna go Vikings. I seen the game where Boone sent. I actually sent this to me where the 49ers, lotballed him to death. I think that Creasy's user skills will help him get over that advantage, and what will the Niners do once that doesn't work. And I also seen the Vikings play pretty good. If he can again pick up a playbook, because he has like 8 creative playbooks. If he picks one and sticks with it, uses them players and that speed and the space, I think he'll win. So I'm gonna go with the Vikings on this one. We have the Bears and we just seen the Green Bay beat them. Buffalo and Denver. Somebody has to win. Right?
Denver. Nah, I gotta go Denver on that. DZ, he played Cletus and he played me, and combined, he gave up almost 140 points in 2 games. And I think Joe's really just trying to find himself. I love what you said, Gates. I think he enjoys his California bud a little bit too much right now, and I just don't see no answer for Doc. Denver.
I mean, listen, Bills is cool. I talked to him. I actually called him here today, give him his number. He's definitely winning in real life. We just need to figure out how he can transfer that into the game of Madden. Doc, he's still on the get it together brother list. You know, you're on a naughty list, in my opinion. I'm gonna pick you to win this game. You gotta win this one. Boom, who you got? Broncos or Bills?
I go Broncos. I mean, in the future, I know in the past how he plays. His defense kind of been letting him down a little bit. I know he normally plays sound defense. I go Broncos in there. I go Broncos.
Okay. Then we have KC in Pittsburgh.
Ooh. Bit tough game. Two fellow admins. They've locked horns quite a bit. Bill is a little bit under the radar. I don't think he necessarily gets the credit he deserves, but Adam Chief, this is his time of the year. He doesn't lose games around playoff time. I'm going with Chiefs.
Yeah, I'll go Chiefs.
Chiefs. He's building up his resume. He's coming down to like I said, getting the playoff form. Probably early in the season, you find people trying out new things. Once you start getting time to crunch time, you start buckling down and doing what you do. So I'll say the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Chiefs as well. Do you guys have any keys of victory for Steelers? Because we all picked him to lose. I mean, is there anything he can do to steal this game? You know, be the Grinch of Christmas in Kansas City?
Excuse me. Stop that run between Ware and Hunt. If he can frustrate him with the run, I think he should be fine because Mahomes, he's good. Oh, keep a spy out too because he likes to roll out. You want to dedicate a spy. Just give you a little tidbit. Put a spy in QB container on DEs. If you can frustrate the run, I think he should be fine. He plays sound good defense, and then you got Bell, man, down that rock.
Yeah, I think you hit it head on. I think he should run his. I said it in previous episodes. You have to run the ball, run it through Bell, and then play action him.
Bell and Brown.
Yeah, definitely got to pound the ground. Any keys to victory for the Steelers?
I actually think Boone nailed it. Like, to me, he put it so well. I don't think there's nothing to add to that. He's good money with that.
Yeah. We have Dallas and the Eagles. Moondog.
Dallas and who?
Eagles.
Well, I seen an interesting text in the chat, and I thought it was funny. It was like, hey, I thought somebody commented to me that thought it was real funny. The Eagles was aggressive on joining the league, but hasn't played a game yet. So that's gonna happen. This dude, Rich the Don, has been AWOL. The Eagles are cursed, and I know Cowboys is on your what list, Boom? I mean, Gase.
Get it together, brother.
There you go. So I don't know. It'll probably want to be in a computer game. I'm gonna go ahead and get the Cowboys the benefit of that down in the computer game.
All right, then we have the Dolphins and the Chargers. Dolphins are on auto, right? Due to the Christmas season?
No, they're not.
Oh, okay. Well,
did he go on vacation or something?
I thought he said something in the chat like going out of town. I mean, I don't know. Well, let's pick one. Dolphins and Chargers. Who you got? You guys got?
Let me see. I get that. I get that to the Chargers. He been playing good. Like I said, I think the Dolphins is on auto anyway, so he might just get the force in that one. Back to the who was that? The Cowboys and the Eagles.
Yeah.
I got the Cowboys. I actually reached out to Moondog see if he wanted to make some off-season trades. He was interested. Cowboys is my team, so I propose let's just switch teams, bro. I'll just switch teams, but it gotta be
I
nice
would
and
so
easy.
love you in the division. You and wow, goodness.
So every year I pick a different team. I'm waiting. I'm waiting and patiently waiting to get my Cowboys, but he declined. So I guess we got to just wait and see. But yeah, I picked the Cowboys and I picked the Chargers.
Okay, y'all go. I mean, I guess I gotta go Moondog. I've been going with you, Moondog. You've been letting me down. I need to stop now. And then I'm gonna go Chargers too. He's been playing some good ball. I think he got spanked, and him getting spanked, he learned his lesson. He'll be focused and ready to go after that. After that game, then we have myself and the Colts. I mean, I'm probably high favorite. I don't know anything about the Colts, so if you're watching Colts, use that to your advantage and try to shake up the world with this one.
Falcons, I got you, hands down.
All right, then we got. I'll skip the game of the week, and then we'll come back to that.
I like that. Eagles, just after the chat. We was just talking about Rich the Don. He said, hey, Cowboys can get the W. So I said, I don't know what's going on, but
Well, probably if you're watching, let's look for a new Eagles on. We don't know what's going on. We got Tampa Bay and Detroit. Shout out to the Lions, man. We had a good conversation. He lives not too far from me in Jersey, so that's kind of dope. I mean, the world's a small world. We definitely talked about some things to him. He takes that advice and turns his game around. So I'm gonna go with you this game, Lions. What you guys got?
I haven't seen the Lions play, but I take the Lions. I see him putting up a nice, decent fight. He's playing some good ball, some solid ball. So I'll take the Lions on that.
Who's it, Lions and who?
Tampa Bay Bucks.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Lions too. You said something last week and it sounded funny, but the whole where's Tampa Bay at, the whole missing milk carton thing. That's astounding what's happening in Tampa Bay. I don't know what's I'd actually even like to get that guy on the show to try to find out from a mentality standpoint what the hell happened. I'm gonna go with Lions.
Yeah. Bucks, man, if you're watching, man, definitely get on the show. Let's talk about what happened this season with the 10-6. A lot of trash talk to MIA, man. We gotta send somebody out, to look find you. We can't find you. So
The Bucks is making me right now look like an undefeated team. It's making me feel like I'm on the 70 Dolphins tour right now, man.
Crazy. When we seen the Panthers beat the Saints, I would have picked the Saints. Shout out to the Panthers for stealing that game. We have New England and the Giants.
I'm not picking my game. Normally I do, but you know what? I'm gonna be quiet on this one. I'm gonna let y'all two take it. I'm not picking my game.
Go ahead, Boone. You go first.
All right. This is what I say. If Davis Webb don't overthrow 4 throws,
right? Got it.
I'm gonna let him say Ty, just for the simple fact I know he runs the ball, and if he can get his quarterback to make the right throws, I think Strong is reeling right now. He's reeling. He's probably second guessing what he's doing. Maybe not. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. I mean, he has played 2 top players. One was a divisional game, so that's probably a toss up. But I'm gonna go on the limb. I'm gonna pick the upset. I'm gonna pick the upset because I know Ty, you in playoff mode. If you want to get in, you gotta win out. You gotta win out. So you playing for your playoff lives right now. So I think you're gonna be dialed in on
that. Give me some keys of victory for Ty since you picked him to win.
Ty needs to run the ball, runs with his strength with Jackson feeding the rock. And Webb make safe throws, safe calculated throws, 10 yards and under throws. I noticed when he goes over 10 yards, that's when he starts to get a little errant. So I dink and dunk him, pound the rock, dink and dunk him, and make him play sound defense. I don't know. I haven't played Strong in a while, so I don't know what his user skills are or anything like that. And I know he does have a top running back, so defensively, bottle up that speed, and I think you should be fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Giants this game, and here's why. Boom. I mean, Strong, I was hard on him earlier this episode. I'm gonna continue to be hard on him because he's now in this position that he's in. He's in what we consider the best in the league type position. You have to play like you're in the best in the league. I haven't seen that these last 2 games in the top tier opponents. So with all the pressure that he has to have from not just the owner's box show on himself, because he's fighting that battle within himself, that Bruce Banner, Incredible Hulk type of mentality. Um, I think he's dialing. I think he's actually dialing down. I think the Hulk is actually dialing down, and he's slowly turning back into Bruce Banner this season. One thing's for sure, two things for certain. Uh, Deion Lewis and Cooks are going to get the ball, so Ty Marquise is good for you. Definitely crowd the box and eight, and always watch him see where Cooks is on the field and force him to win without using those two weapons.
And you know what? I am gonna pick my game.
I'm going
I wanted to watch Strong and Wop because that was a good game, and I wanted to watch Strong and Cletus because that was a good game. And I noticed some things. I don't mind giving it away. We're about to play anyway. Deion Lewis's strength and his runs comes from Strong running out of those spread tray sets inside zones up the middle. So he'll spread you out and run right up your gut. So you can't necessarily bite on them spread sets and think pass because that's when Lewis gashes you. If not that, gotta watch Cooks in the slot on those deep posts. So those are the two keys to victory. Definitely agree 100% with what Boone said. Webb's got to show up and play. I'm actually contemplating starting Geno Smith that game. But you know what? I do think I'm gonna win that game, and it's no disrespect at all to Strong. He's a good player. He's had a great man. I just feel good about where I'm at. I think my defense is sound. I think I am gonna pull this one out. That's just me.
Done. Oakland and Houston. I don't see no reason why Raiders haven't lost since I called him out. I don't see him losing again. You guys got Raiders and Texans.
Oakland.
Boom, who you got? Raiders and Texans.
I got the Raiders.
Yeah. I mean, shout out to the Texans, man. Clowney is a beast. I think he had 8 sacks or something last week. He's on steroids. Just run your defense through him, man. You can really shake up the league. You have the Rams and the Bengals. I'm going with the Rams.
I'm going with the Bengals. I need the Bengals to show up, so I'm going with the Bengals. Go ahead and knock him out. Let me go ahead and wrap up this division early.
I like Bengals, and I like what he's doing. Haven't really watched Son play this season, but I know what he traditionally does. I'm going to go with Son and the Rams.
Okay. Then we have Baltimore and Cleveland. This was a real good game the last time. The Browns pulled it out. I think Ravens learn from their mistakes, and they have to focus on the C route. I think that's what killed them last game. I'm going with Ravens, man. I think he's learned. He's playing some good football. If he get adjusted for stopping that C route, Browns is in trouble. You guys got Ravens or Browns?
I got the Browns. I think he's rebounded ever since he took his 2 tough losses. I think he lost to the Jets, and I can't remember who else he lost a tough game. I know it was one of the top guys, and I think he's putting it back together. I think he may have adjusted some things once he got outed on what he's doing, so maybe he made a few adjustments. But I'm gonna go with the Browns. I'm gonna say he's gonna go ahead and just finish that off.
Sorry, we got
between Browns and Ravens.
Yeah.
Damn, I really like what Ravens is starting to do low key. I think Browns, I've been a big fan of his all season, but I think he's slowing down somewhat. He ran into some players, suffered some difficulties. I'm gonna give Browns the edge in that one, but I think it's gonna be a close game. But I'm gonna go with Browns.
Okay. we got Seahawks and the Cardinals. If Champ shows up, it won't matter. I'm going with Seahawks.
Same reasoning.
Yeah. And then we have Tennessee and Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. And then we have
I
the
like Titans fight, but Jacksonville's dialed in. Going with Jayville.
boom. What you got? Your brother, or Titans?
I get a nod to Jacksonville. I think I watched some of their first game. They kind of traded punches back and forth, but again, his secondary took over, so he was able to put it away. Titans do run the ball real well, but I don't think they have much after that. Like I said, I think Jacksonville got this hands down.
Okay. And then we have the game of the week: the Jets versus the Redskins. Let me hear your picks and your keys to victory.
Goodness gracious. I feel like Boone right now. That look he has, that's how I feel. Like, damn.
I'm gonna go Redskins. The speed of the Redskins receiver is a lot for the strong safety of the Jets. You can't cover both of them. You can't be on both sides of the field as they both stretch the field on the deep ball. And you also can't worry about them and the running back chucking people. Again, if you guys haven't seen the Redskins, it looks like some Earl Thomas, Gale Sayre, Walter Payton style running. They're just running guys directly over. I know the Jets have a great defensive line. But if Will can make his right reads and not try to deep ball Cletus every time and just keeps his exposure, I think he gets the edge over the Redskins. Cletus just has to stop the deep ball and pay attention to the run. So I'm going Skins.
I'm gonna go Jets. I'm gonna go Jets because I know Cletus has a scheme. He does. He works wonders with those players. If you look at his team on paper, he was like, man, how is he winning these games? But he has a formula. He sticks to it. Plays good sound ball. I think the defensive line is going to be the new determining factor because if his defensive line can control the line of scrimmage, I know WAP runs just to keep you honest, but if he can turn those runs if he can make those runs being negative runs because he's getting such good penetration and getting him behind the chains, even if he chuck up deep balls, I think he might be able to counter for that. And as far as with Watt for him to win, again, stick to his game plan, try to pound the rock. I like that running back. He has the receiver, he has the speed on the outside to take advantage of that. If he sticks to that, I think he should be fine. Watch out with Cletus with the rollouts. Again, I will keep contained on him. So when he does that play action rollout, he's rolling right into a DE every time. So that'll be my keys to victory. I'll keep him in that pocket.
Good job, man. What you think, Ty?
I literally think this can go either way. I am going to say it's a pick 'em, but I'm going to give you the keys to victory. Cletus definitely has to stop the deep ball. Until WAP shows me that he's got a mid-range passing game and he can move the chains other than that deep ball and the occasional run, you always got to hone in on that deep ball. I don't know if Cletus has the speed to stop some of them deep strikes. And I think the other key to victory is WAP's defense is sound. There's not a lot of open space on the field to throw against that dude. You can run on him, but you're not going to necessarily gash him. The keys to victory, Cletus has to figure out a way to move the ball on Washington, and he's got to stop the deep ball. If WAP can hit the deep ball and he can bottle Cletus up, Cletus is going to lose. If Cletus can stop the deep ball and move the chains, Cletus is going to win. Pick him.
Come on, man. You got to pick one.
Golly, brother. Shoot. First time I ever picked against my dude, man, but I'm going to get an edge to the Redskins. I think there's going to be a deep ball or two that's going to make the difference in the game. And I've never picked against Cletus before, but I know the speed that WAP's got on that field.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's what I'm saying. And the only person who can really combat it is that strong safety, who, in my opinion, has the best strong safety stats. He just can't be everywhere. He can't stick Perryman and Ross and come down to 8 in the box to try to stop the run of later Hicks pick. It's just too much for him. I think Boone was right with the play action rollout. You have to put it in contain. Cletus, he's gonna roll out. He's a him and Pyre. Those are two things. These two guys are rolling out. They're scrambling and doing their thing. I'm definitely looking forward to see who wins this game. It's two of the best players in the league, and they're also like two of the best matchups, possibly an early Super Bowl matchup. If things go certain ways. So it'd be definitely interesting to see who wins. We got all three Redskins, or boom, what you pick? Jets?
Pick the Jets.
Okay, so we got 2-1. Redskins over Cletus. I'm looking at my phone here shortly. I know Cletus is going to tag me or text me and say that we shouldn't have picked against him. But that's dope. We'll see how it goes. It's a lot of good football left here in the league. These last three games. It's crunch time. The playoffs will be interesting to see how they pan out. The Rams are still winning your division, correct? Or are you winning the division?
No, I got the division by
By the tie.
7-4. I think he might be
6-6.
6, something like that. So I still got the lead. We still play one more time. So
Okay.
That should be good.
Yeah, I see you panning. I think the Rams had a chance to win the division. They had a strong hold on it, and they blew that opportunity. As you now seem to got your rhythm back. Took an unexpected loss that you weren't supposed to take. That woke you up here, and I think you'll decide to move forward. It'll be interesting to see how the Patriots play against the Giants. Is he as good as he say he is, or is he just having a Cinderella year? The Chiefs and the Steelers should be a good lockup. The Steelers, supposed to be in shut up and play football mode, where the Chiefs are trying to keep his reputation going. Raiders, I see now just going to win out the AFC. But your brother's definitely putting the pressure on him. I don't see the Raiders though losing these last 2 out of 3 games. So I think the second seed will be his. All depends if Cletus can lock him up. If Cletus wins this game, Cletus has to be taken serious. This is usually his 3rd year, and the 3rd year is usually Cletus' year. And he is doing some amazing things with some guys I've never heard of and I've never seen. I know he gets a lot of slack for developing his guys or having all these superstar style guys on his team, but you need to understand he holds it. He holds these guys, and he holds their XP for 2 seasons. All these guys he's not drafting like that. He's building them up, and then sometimes he is drafting them like that because he can get 3 or 4 good early first-round draft picks. So shout out to him and his team management. I think it's amazing. His quarterback is not that good number-wise, but he's doing some good things. So, anything you guys want to touch on here this last Christmas holiday episode? I'll probably come back Wednesday. Do some mid-run recap or something like that. You guys want to touch on anything to get up out here?
The only thing I'll do is I'll give my take on the AFC side of the house. You asked about that earlier. You know what? I got Cletus 1. Cletus is one of those guys to where it's kind of like, I don't know, this is his time of the year. I think he's been real focused. I think he's on a mission. I think he's got a lot to prove. I think he takes a lot of pride in kind of being in the shadows and wanting to prove people wrong. And he's been building his team, and it's his time. And I notice a lot of times when we call out the AFC, Cletus is 3 or 4. I got Cletus 1. I got Raiders 2. I know Raiders sometimes they struggle in the playoffs and choke sometimes, but he's just been so dialed in and so focused. I got him 2. I got Jacksonville 3. They could very easily be 2. They've been very impressive. Jacksonville's been on a roll. I think he's a solid team. I got him at 3. I got Adam and the Chiefs at 4. Adam's right where he wants to be. He just wants good momentum going into the playoffs, and then once he gets in there, whatever happens, he can make things happen. Actually, I'm sorry, take that back. I got Strawn at 4. Forgot about Strawn. I got Adam 5, 6. hanging on by a thread, I got Cleveland.
Cleveland at 6.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to put Cleveland at 1 because the Raiders have been playing so consistent. Had he not lost that game, would he have? He might still be undefeated. Jags and him could, are interchangeable at 2 for me. So if I put Jacksonville at 2, Cleveland at 3, or even the other way around that, I think those are interchangeable. I think that's personal opinion. 4 is Patriots. 5 is Browns. 6 is Chiefs, in my opinion. What do you take on the NFC side of the ball all the time?
You know what? I got Pie at 1. I've been singing Pie's praises since the beginning of the season. I got Pie at 1. I think this is where me and you Gates differ because I think he's over that hump. Boone said it earlier. He's playing within himself. There's a discipline and focus that he's playing with this season I've never seen before. He's not making mistakes. He's always been sound on D. Even though he has Hill and he prefers to go there, he's not necessarily looking to center a game plan around that. Now, what's interesting is how he adapts to his star halfback, Fisher Spires, being out. Because I know he took a lot of pressure off his passing by going to Spires. If now, because he doesn't have a running game, he feels he's got to force it in the Hill, I think he's going to have some hard times. If he can still play within himself and go, hey, a halfback's a halfback, I don't need to take one to the house. I'm going to keep the chains moving. He'll be good. I got Pie at 1. I got Wop at 2. Wop's just been a machine. What he does is simple, but good luck stopping it. It's a load. And even if you stop what Wop likes to do 95% of the game, it only takes that 5% of the time for him to go up on you 14, 21 points. I got you, Gates, at 3. You're a model of consistency. You're not going to kill yourself. You're always going to be there. And I think low key, you probably feel like you got a point to prove. There's been a lot of talk about Wop and Pie. I think you're licking your chops waiting for these playoffs. I got Mr. Boone here at 4. I know he's not playing his best football, but he's still good enough. I think he is figuring out his young team. And Boone's formula is simple. So even though he may be adjusting some things, he's always going to be a handful. 5, I will go with Saints, same as Boone. He's a consistent player. He makes some mistakes that shoots himself in the foot from time to time, but he's a good enough player. 6 is the wild card. There's so many teams in it. If I had to guess right now and just go out on a limb, I'm going to say Creasy's going to figure out a way to somehow sneak in there at 6 and take that last spot. That's how I got it.
I'm going to say Redskins at 1. Like I said, it's a great show to watch. He's been winning. He's doing what he's supposed to do. His schedule allowed him to avoid a lot of top tier guys, but doing that, that's not his. That's not a fault to him. He's playing these how he's supposed to play. He's supposed to win them games in the fashion that he's supposed to win them. I'm gonna put him at 1. I'll put myself over Paya at 2. And the only reason why is the word that you said, Ty, is consistency. Probably has been, and looking at his team, I think he has the best team in NFC based on ratings, stats, players, and positions. I think he is the heavy favorite, low key, to go to the Super Bowl in NFC. But it's just when he plays a Wop, and he plays me, when he plays a Boom, does he go back to his old way? The guy who cusses out in the chat, does he fumble and things like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that it gives me the edge over him because I don't do that. I'm not gonna do that. So it's just the user over the team and scheme in that situation. So me too. Probably easily at 3. Had the Saints won today, I would have put him at 4, but I can't. So I got to put Boone at 4. That game against the Panthers, he's supposed to win that game. Not to take anything away from the Panthers, but it's just Panthers such a good off, good. He had a good run of a stretch of football since I didn't put respect on his name. And then I did put respect on his name, and he loses a game that I feel like we probably all felt he should have won the game. So in that, the games that we expect you to win, you have to win, and that sets you apart from being an elite player, a top guy in this league versus any other guy in this league. So I go with Boone at 4. He's struggling, but he sticks to his game plan, and he's slowly figuring out these young linebackers. He's getting some elite interceptions. He's sending me plays. So once he masters those 2 guys, I think he'll easily get back in the top 3. So Boone at 4, Saints at 5, and then the 6th spot. It can go either way, man. I think whoever wins this game between the Vikings and the 49ers gets the 6th spot. And no disrespect to you, Ty. I don't know what Webb is going to show up, man. Now you're talking about starting Geno Smith. So it's tough, man. It's tough.
No, I don't take it as no disrespect, because here's the fact of the reality of matter. I didn't pick myself for the 6th spot. It's not because I don't believe in me. But in my next 4, I got Strong today. Okay. I got Lions, who's battling for a spot, followed by Cletus, followed by you, Gates.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's impossible, but to go 4-0 down that stretch, that's a tall order. So looking at the strength of schedule of Vikings, Rams, Niners, you know what? And the fact that I've been inconsistent, that's fair. So that's 100% fair.
Yeah, it's just if you stick with Webb, you stick to that gun, and you do like Boone says, throw the 10-yard throws, play the safest throws. I mean, but it's hard, Boone, because we watch the guy miss drag routes. You know what I'm saying? Wide open drag. So it's like, what's really a safe throw for the guy? You know what I'm saying? So, so it's just tough to put you there at 6. So I think the winner of the Vikings and the 49ers gets the 6th spot today, in my opinion. I mean, that's as far as I got, man. That's all I have for this owner's box. If you guys want any closing remarks here, man, it's been another great show. Boone, you did an amazing job. With your feedback and your advice, man. It sounds like you're trying to come for one of our jobs. I'm not going to invite you back on the show. I'm teasing. Any closing remarks you got?
It's football, man. I like football, man. So I try to translate into to the Madden game, and I analyze. I don't probably don't get as much time to lab and study. Like I don't study my opponent. I make enough time to play my games, but I do watch, and as I'm playing, and I notice I can diagnose what's being done to me now, as whether if I can adjust accordingly in game. Sometimes it could be a struggle, especially if it's constantly happening. But after that game, like you said, I always go back my lunch break and I start feeding through. Like, man, what did I miss? Like running things, like where I get called down the run, when I hitting the right holes, making the right read, things of that nature. I wait. Just analyzing, looking, and like I said, I appreciate you guys coming on. I'll come on again. We can do a little playoff thing once the playoffs get going. I get Thomas Rawls back for the playoffs. Right now, I'm kind of doing running back by committee.
Yeah. Yes, I think Rawls coming back is going to definitely be the key for you. I think you just need to be able to survive until he gets back. You just need guys to just move forward, move the sticks just until he gets back. And it'll be fine. Any closing remarks, Sarah?
First, thanks to Boone. I reached out to him early in the week and asked him about being on the show. He said he was more than glad to do it. Glad to have a guest of his caliber on the show. Been a great, solid owner his entire career in Madden. It was good to get him on the show, and like he said, put a face to the name. I'm glad he answered the question about who wins. 10 times out of 10 of him and his bro play. His brother tried to be politically correct. I like that Boone kept that shit real. It's like, nah, I got this shit. Aside from that, I think it's interesting we was talking about Paya, and I said I think the way Paya is going to go the rest of the season has to do with how he responds to his halfback being out. I got the game on right now, and I'm seeing that Aaron Rodgers had a perfect quarterback rating of 158.3 and Tyreek Hill at 205 yards. So I just find that real interesting because if he vacates the running game because he doesn't have belief in it now, I think that it's going to be a little more difficult for him in the playoffs. I think what's key for him is still sticking to his same formula he's been playing with all year, not trying to force feed ball, because when he runs into you guys in the playoffs, that's the main thing you're going to take away. He can't do that. And Merry Christmas to everybody at USFL. I hope you guys all have a happy holiday, spend good time with your loved ones, enjoy some quality time off, and have a good Christmas. And that's it for me.
Yeah. For myself, definitely, Boone, thank you, man. You know, you and I talk all the time. It's cool to see a face behind the name. Definitely appreciate you coming on the show, good brother. It'd be interesting to see how your season turns out. I don't think you're losing. I don't see you losing these last 3 or 4 games. So, the way that it's looking, depending on how it goes, we might be wild card, we might not. But for me, I'm really keen on the Pats, and I'm really keen on Pie. I think they have the most pressure on both sides of the league on the ball. Strong because he was at the top of the list, and he's not on the top of the list. Can he, bring it together and get over that hump? He's now in a losing streak, something he wasn't in all season. And I think today, Ty, is his game either put up or shut up. I still pick you to win. He has to win this game. And then Paya, like you said, I watched that game as well. He threw a lot of balls to Tyreek Hill. He had a perfect rating, but guys like myself, even the Saints, who uses the spotlight feature, he's going to do that on him. And, can Paya adjust and still win the games with no Hill in the game? Because now we're talking about no Hill catching the ball and no Spears or Spires. What team is he now? Who is he now? It'll be definitely interesting to see how these games pan out. Whoever has him the next 3 games or 2 games, I would definitely focus on Hill. That was a much easier victory for him. And we'll see how it goes, man. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Owners Box. Happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you decide to celebrate. Definitely spend time with your family and loved ones. As far as I know, I'm done.
Real quick. So I just got a snapshot from Cletus of a simulated Jets-Redskins game. I don't got my damn glasses on, but it looks like a 29, Jets 29, Jets 28, the simulation. That's Cletus's little quiet way of saying, hey, I'm here, boys. I hear you, and I'm here. Don't y'all appreciate that?
That's only cool, but they don't have the same rosters. Unless he aligned the rosters and the ratings the same, it's hard to go on that. And I think we all agree.
Actually, take that back. It was a tie Daddy Leaks predicted, 28-28. The old man me needs my glasses, 28-28. Which is about what we all said. That's why I said pickle.
Yeah, it could definitely go either way. We'll see, man. I'm definitely looking into that game. Colts, if you're watching, hit me up, man. I can run my game right now. Got some of these hands for you. I'm on a mission.
Love that. Hey, the 2 things. I love when you got something in them hands, which started with Boone, and I love the whole get it together, man, which you've been light on people, man. You were supposed to be a naughty and nice list. That didn't happen, and you didn't tell nobody to get it together, Gates. You slipping. You need to get it together, brother.
The guys who are on the naughty, they know who they are on the naughty list because their records are naughty. They know. There's no need to he's down. He's like, we talked about it with the run up the score situation. I know that would beat him down, and we don't need to make him brain dead. They know.
You know what? I got to get it together. Then I got one.
Yeah.
Davis Webb. You're in the top 5 in the league in passing. You're in the top 5 in the league in picks. You killing my show, brother. Get it together.
All right, man. Take care, man.
You guys have a good holiday, man.
Yeah, you guys definitely have a good holiday, man. Appreciate everybody for tuning into the Owner Box, man. Another one signing out.
Late.